Hey, welcome. I don't think you found this video by accident. And maybe, you don't either. Maybe something inside you already knows, there's a kind of homesickness that doesn't point to a specific place. It's not about a hometown, or a memory. It's deeper than that. It's a pull, right in your chest, towards something you've never seen, something you've never touched. And yet, somehow, it feels familiar, you can't explain it to people. It's not something you read in a book or heard in a conversation. It's something that lives in your bones. It comes from a part of you that's older than words, older than memory. You just know when you're not where you're meant to be, and if you're feeling that right now, if you've been walking through this season of your life like a guest in someone else's story, this message is for you. You've tried, haven't you? You've been disciplined, you've been grateful, you've stuck it out. You've told yourself, I should be content, and maybe you even are, on some level. But deep down, something still feels off. Something is missing. It's like you're living a version of life that's just slightly misaligned, like the tempo's wrong, or the colors don't quite fit, or the conversations feel forced. The mornings feel heavy, and the evenings feel hollow. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've started noticing that your rhythm doesn't match the beat of the life around you. The roles you're in. The relationships you're carrying. Even the reasons you wake up every day, they feel borrowed. Like they were meant for someone else, but I want you to hear this, you're not broken. You're not ungrateful. You're not being dramatic. What you're feeling is real, you're not confused. You're aware that it's like your soul has quietly outgrown the coordinates of your current life. And here's the wild part, sometimes, God doesn't rush in to explain that feeling. Because He's not trying to take the ache away. He's trying to activate it, that discomfort. That longing. That internal this isn't quite it feeling. That's not punishment. It's preparation. It's a sign that you're not just shifting emotionally, you're shifting energetically. Your entire inner blueprint is beginning to recalibrate. Why? Because your next season is calling. And not just some vague idea of the future, no, something specific. A space, an identity, a frequency that has already been marked for you. And it's getting closer, but here's how it works. God doesn't move your body first. He moves your spirit. And right now, maybe you're walking in the last pages of an old chapter, while your soul is already standing in the next one. That's the tension you're feeling. That's the homesickness, and no, it's not about a physical place. It's about alignment. It's about resonance. It's about being in a life where you don't have to shrink to fit. Where you don't have to edit yourself to be accepted. Where peace isn't something you fight to keep, it's something that's built into the very foundation of your days. Maybe that's why you're feeling unsettled. Because you're not meant to stay here, God is already moving pieces. Quietly, invisibly. He's starting to pack up the parts of you that won't be needed in your next chapter. This isn't just a change in scenery. It's a full spiritual relocation. Yes, for some of you, it might look like an actual move, a new city, a new home, a new circle of people. But for others, the move won't be geographical at all. It'll be internal. You'll wake up one day and realize, this life no longer fits the person I've become, and it's not that the life you've been living is wrong. It served you. It held you. It carried you through a lot. But it was built for the version of you that had to survive. The version of you that still had something to prove. The version of you that hadn't yet remembered how to belong to yourself. But now something inside is whispering, it's time. And no matter how many routines you stick to, no matter how often you tell yourself to be grateful, that whisper won't go away. Because your soul has already started moving. It's already in motion. It's already walking towards something that finally feels like home, and again, not because it's easy. But because it's aligned. You see, home isn't always a place. Sometimes it's a frequency. It's a feeling. And when your life finally matches that frequency, when you walk into the space that was made for you, you'll know. So until then, don't silence the ache. Don't brush off the whisper. Don't try to convince yourself to stay in a room your spirit is already walking out of. What you're feeling right now, that empty space inside, it's not a void. It's a clearing. A sacred clearing where something new, something real, something meant for you is getting ready to land, but first, you had to stop mistaking familiar for belonging. God isn't asking you to settle down here. He's asking you to pay attention. He's asking you to listen to the longing. To let the ache be holy. Not because he wants to hurt you, but because he wants to guide you. There's a reason your appetite is changing. There's a reason the things that used to light you up now feel heavy. The conversations feel loud. The routines feel pointless. Even the dreams that once inspired you now feel distant or hollow. That's not you falling apart. That's your system upgrading, and when God is preparing to move you, he doesn't just open doors. He lets the old ones get noisy first. He lets the floorboards creak. He lets the paint peel. He lets the silence between people grow uncomfortable. Because one day, you'll look around and realize, I've outgrown this. Not because it failed you, but because you grew, and that ache in your chest. That's how a soul prepares to leave. It starts quietly, doesn't it? A scent you used to love now makes you uncomfortable. A song that once brought peace now feels out of tune. A conversation you used to enjoy now barely scratches the surface. The shift isn't always loud, but it's constant. And eventually, even your dreams begin to stop making sense in the world you're currently living in. It's like trying to play a brand new melody through an outdated speaker. The sound distorts. The beauty gets lost. The message doesn't land the way it was intended. And deep down, you can feel it. Your soul is no longer in sync with your environment. But here's the truth. Your next season is already designed. It's already calibrated. And God? He doesn't wait for your comfort zone to sign off before he moves you forward. He doesn't ask for your surroundings' approval before he promotes your purpose. He just starts the process, and when he does, it's not random. It's intentional. It's deeply personal. Because where you're going is not just an upgrade of your current life. It's not just a slightly better version of what you already know. No, what's ahead requires a new you, not because you need to fix anything. But because the future you're stepping into will not support what you've already outgrown. That's why some people are falling away right now. That's why some habits don't work anymore. That's why you're feeling the urge to clear out your closet, change your schedule, unfollow people, rethink everything from how you spend your time to how you speak about yourself. It's not random. It's a recalibration. You're not being overly emotional. You're not being dramatic. You're being redirected. And the hardest part? You don't always get clarity in the moment. In fact, it usually feels messy. You might grieve things that once made you feel safe. You might question everything. You might second-guess your instincts, your progress, your very sense of direction. You might look at something you worked so hard to build, a job, a relationship, a dream, and ask, why doesn't this feel like mine anymore? Please hear me. It's okay to mourn what you're letting go of. Even when you know it's time to let go. Growth is messy. It breaks things open. And healing, real healing, often starts with admitting the truth. Even when it hurts, God usually moves in phases. The first is internal. Quiet. Invisible. It's when your spirit stops agreeing with the world around you. You begin to feel detached, not in a careless way, but in a soul-deep way. Your surroundings start to lose their grip on you, then comes the external disruption. Things stop flowing. The relationships that used to work feel strained. The places that once felt like home now feel foreign. Even your body may start to react, feeling tense, tired, restless, and finally, if you stay present through the ache. If you listen to the longing, something miraculous happens. A door opens. It won't be loud. It won't be flashy. But it will be precise. A conversation, a connection, a moment, something shifts. The wind changes direction. And somehow, everything in you knows, this is it. That's when it all begins to make sense. The ache wasn't trying to destroy you, it was guiding you. The homesickness was never about what you lost. It was always about what was coming. It was the map. The longing you've been trying to ignore was the compass, the discomfort that made you feel like you were losing your mind. That was your soul trying to get your attention. Trying to say, you were made for more than this, and then it happens. You start to meet people who get you without needing long explanations. You walk into rooms where you don't feel the need to shrink. You find spaces that don't just accept you, they recognize you. Not just your gifts, but your essence. Your energy. Your truth, and you begin to breathe differently. Stand differently. Laugh, not just politely, not just from your mouth, but from your soul, and the most beautiful part. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to pretend or perform, because divine relocation doesn't ask you to hustle your way in. It invites you to surrender. It asks you to trust the whisper, more than the noise, to trust the unease, more than the illusion of comfort. To trust the pull, more than the familiar patterns, and I know that's hard. I know it's easier to stay in the places where you've learned how to cope. Where you know what to expect. Where the risks feel manageable. But the life you were designed to live doesn't require you to cope. It calls you to come alive. There's a chapter ahead where you won't feel like a stranger in your own story. A chapter that doesn't just include you, it was written for you, but to enter it, you've got to let go of what's holding you down. And sometimes the hardest things to release are the ones that look most stable. The ones that once felt safe. The people you thought you could never leave behind. But hear this, what's next for you isn't just about new experiences. It's about right placement. There's a space, a rhythm, a divine ecosystem that's built to sustain you. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you won't have to beg for energy. You won't have to fake your joy. You won't have to carry the entire weight of your life on your own, and when you get there, you'll look back on this very season you're in, and it'll all make sense. You'll realize the ache wasn't a sign that you were breaking down, it was a sign that you were breaking through. The longing wasn't a weakness, it was a divine signal that your true life, the one that mirrors your deepest truth, was finally within reach, not just the version of you the world sees, but the version God whispered over you before you were ever born.